Hello, guys, and welcome to our recap for the Fall 23 Week 4. After a week off, we kicked it off with the 12 p.m. game, having the 76ers versus the Celtics. The Celtics approached this, getting the W 78-65, winning the first half 34-23, and winning the second half 44-42. Leading scorers for the Celtics were Ryan Kavos with 19 points, Jay Kavos with 17 points, Phil Andrade with 17 points, and Max McCleary making his debut with 14 points. Jay Kavos put in a double-double, adding 10 rebounds to that total as well. And for the Sixers, you had two guys in double figures, and two of them had above 20, which is Brandon Berry with 25 points. And then you had Mitchell Quazagros with a double-double, 21 points and 13 rebounds. More help showed up for the Sixers as Mitchell Quazagros was able to put in 20 points, but nobody else had above 6, and that guy was Jonathan Townsend with the 6 points. And this game came down to a little bit of size down low and no interior defense for the Sixers, as Max McCleary had his way down there shooting 7 for 10 in his debut. Sixers are going to have to find a way to play some defense down low and get more help offensively as the Celtics cruise to that win. Next game, we had the Bulls versus the Hawks. Bulls take the win over the Hawks 103-71. I believe this is the first game that got over 100 points. 51 points to 31 points. The Bulls outscored them in the first half, and 52 points, topping that in the second half, to the Hawks 40. And there were 6 guys for the Bulls, and 4 of them were in double figures. 3 of them had 20. The leading scorers were Benito Munoz and Brooks Shum. Both had 28 points, but along with Benny Munoz, 28 points, he had 10 rebounds and 7 assists. Brooks Shum had 5 rebounds and 3 assists to go along with that. Then you had Nick Crow with 22 points, and to help, he had 15 rebounds and 5 assists along with that. And then Miguel Munoz had 17 points himself. And for the Hawks, they only had 5 guys. And Jeremy Capper had 24 points, Mason Monahan with 15, Mike Carroll with 15, and Wyatt Thompson with 12. One of those guys fouled out at the very end of the game, and I believe that was, trying to find it here. That was Mike Carroll. And that was just the story that told itself. The Bulls just shot the ball extremely well, shooting 19 for 29 from 3. Both teams took the same amount of threes, but the Hawks only made 8, so that kind of helped them extend that lead. Next game was the Bucks versus the Warriors. The Warriors take this one 89-80 as they only approach with 4 guys for the second week in a row and get 2 wins back-to-back with 4 guys. First half, 40 points for the Warriors, 30 points for the Bucks, and then they increased that to 49 in the second half and 50 for the Bucks, but it was a 9-point win for the Warriors. The leading scorers were 2 guys in 30-point figures, was Antonio Marshall with 35 points along with 8 rebounds and 5 assists, and then you had Tyrese Mosley to pour in 33 points as well with 3 steals and 4 rebounds himself. And then Miko Sullivan struggled a bit, but he was able to pour in 12 points, have 6 rebounds himself. But the Bucks had 4 guys in double figures, but still couldn't get it to go. Tristan Swartz led all scorers for the Bucks with 20 points. Then you had Barrick Olden with 18 points. You had Quan Shaw with 15 points and Wally Watson with 13. This game came down to the Bucks not being able to know what to do with that extra guy on the court. They did not send a double until it was too late, but Antonio Marshall and Tyrese Mosley were shooting the ball extremely well. Antonio Marshall 4 for 8 from 3, and Tyrese Mosley 5 for 12 from 3. So that kind of helped propel the Warriors to the victory. And then the next game, we have the Lakers versus the Grizzlies. This one came down to the wire. The Grizzlies take this one 62-59. First half was knotted up, 25 apiece. And then the second half, the Grizzlies take a 3-point advantage, 37-34. The top scorers for the Lakers were 2 guys in double figures. You had Terrell Hendricks with 25 points, had 7 rebounds to go along with that. And then you had Tone Brooks, who had 15 points. And then there was only 1 guy in double figures for the Grizzlies, and that was Bobby Krivakopich. But all guys but 1 was able to score 5+ points. So it was a team effort for the Grizzlies over the Lakers. The Lakers, it came down to their shooting. They shot 19 for 47 from the field and 8 for 27 from the 3-point line and 13 for 21 from the free throw line. Lakers just couldn't buy a basket, but the Grizzlies shot 56% from the field, shooting 22 for 39 and a perfect 6 for 6 from 3. which also helped them propel. And they also out-rebounded 31-16, giving them more possessions and more time. But the Lakers, to only have a 3-point loss, probably just wish they shot the ball better, and they would have had a much better chance to win this game. But this game came down to the wire. It was a fun game for everyone. The next game was the Heat versus the Spurs. This game was competitive early, but the Spurs ended up taking it away. The Heat were leading the Spurs 33-31 at the beginning. And then at the end, we had the Spurs outscore them 42-23, beating them by 19 in the second half. This was the introduction of Nathan Yaki. There were only two guys in double figures that both scored 10. You had Jonathan Reed and Nathan Yaki with 10 points. And then for the Spurs, you had three guys in double figures. Martavius Laster, continuing his great play, had 27 points with 6 rebounds and 5 assists. Second in scoring was Octavius Davis, 8 for 11 from the field, had 19 points and 5 rebounds. And then you had Jameer Hines, who was shooting the ball off the bench, 5 for 10 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3, had 14 points, 3 rebounds to go along with that. And this game just came down to the second half. Seems like the Spurs could not miss. And the final game for the day, the Nets had their entire team. The Nets take this victory whoppingly at 76-45. They outscored them 41-17 in the first half and 35-28 in the second half. The Nets had 3 guys in double figures. You had L.J. Harris, who only missed 1 shot from the field, had 19 points and 10 rebounds to go along with that. Second in scoring was Mook Lawrence, had a double-double, had 14 points and 10 rebounds. And then you had C.J. Link with 11 points and 4 rebounds himself. You had 3 guys in double figures also for the Thunder. You had KT Bobo with 11 points, 7 rebounds and 5 assists. You had Jacquees Springer with 12 points, 5 rebounds. And then you had Devin Vent with 10 points, who only played in the first half. This game just wasn't close from the beginning. The Nets applied a lot of pressure on them early, and the Thunder couldn't buy a bucket. And thank you guys for tuning in to our Week 4 recap. We will see you guys next week.